Now, what is the process of starting your own church? I'd imagine it's daunting, to say the least, right?
Yeah. I think, because I'm just cresting over the 50-year mark, and I'm like, normally this is for younger people, right? So I'm like, Heidi and I are like, is this, wow, are we supposed to do this at this age in our life? We're supposed to be settling into our easy stride
Yeah,
now,
sitting on a beach
Yeah,
somewhere,
dude,
kicking
just
back.
coasting the last 10 years somewhere at some job where you've reached seniority and, not starting a brand new startup from scratch. But yeah, there's passion around it. Like I said, it's kind of one of those things that on my deathbed, I would always wonder, what if I would have done that thing? What if I would have moved up to Arcata and tried that thing? So I feel like this is a do or die. This is kind of a life life altering sort of situation to say yes to, and um, and so exciting. I mean, like you said, carving out something brand new. Um, it's so exciting. It's filled with layers and layers of fears and doubts and all of that. Um, but for us, what we did is, like I mentioned, these a lot of prayer, talking to God, talking to each other, writing down notes and journaling ideas around this project through many years, um, talking to people here and there, and then what we did a couple years ago was we connected up with this group called Stadia Church Planting, and they're a group that helps churches start up, and they work non-denominationally, so all sorts of traditions get to participate with them, and they just, in a neat way, they help you, give you the basics of what you need, but then they don't clamp down with their agendas. They say, hey, whatever, however you feel called and led to do this, go for it. Here's some things you might need. So they help you get started with a management team, a board of directors. So you got to have a 501c3 kind of your board of directors, a nonprofit corporation, 501c3, so that you can begin to kind of build that corporate structure around that, and you can receive donations. People want to contribute and help, and so that tax deductible opportunity for them. And then you've got this board of directors who serve as an advisory council, and they can help you with those decisions all along the way. So we carefully chose those folks, and that was really a great way to start out. So building that infrastructure there, and then what we did was, well, they encourage. There's so many ways to start churches, and people have done it in so many different ways, but their experience with church planting is that some of the most successful plants happen when a pastor, and hopefully the pastor and his spouse, so there's their spouse, can kind of go at it full time. Because like, hey, full time, we're going to hit the ground running and try and get this thing off the ground. 40, 60 hours, 70 hours a week, whatever. Like, we're going to dive in and do this. And to be freed up to do that, to not have multiple jobs and stuff. And I mean, there's great stories of bivocational, trivocational pastors who do lots of jobs, and God uses that in cool ways to connect them to the community and all sorts of things. And there's so many awesome stories. But this idea of being full time to get the church off the ground resonated with us. And they said, in order to do that, like a Silicon Valley startup, you'd have to raise this capital to give yourself. They kind of projected about 3 years. You need about 3 years to give this a good go at it. And so what would it mean to create a 3-year budget? What would that be like? How would we create that? So our advisory council helping us, our board of directors, helping us put together that budget. And then just writing down names of everyone we knew, every friend, every family member, and their friends. And like, hey, here's what we're trying to do. Here's the vision. Do you want to partner with us? You want to contribute and help create this 3-year fundraising goal through pledges or one-time gifts or whatever. We want to try and create this pathway, this launch plan. And it was right during COVID. So COVID had just happened. And what was amazing actually about that was we were able to do Zoom meetings with all these people all over the country who were friends of ours. And so many of those years of touring all those churches as a musician, that all came back, right? All these people are like, oh, I remember you came and sang at my church, and that was so cool. And what are you doing? Oh, that sounds great. Yeah. How can we help? Kind of thing. So that was so cool. Such a gift to have those relationships in place, and people contributed, and that got us off and running. That way, the church that sent us out was a huge help. So that's another piece of it. Like, if you're at a church already and you want to start a new church, I mean, the healthiest thing is to have your sending church be behind you 100%, encouraging you, excited. So me getting to share that vision with them, and for them to catch the vision and help in the transition, and for us to partner with how they wanted to do the transition, all of that played out so well. It was just amazing. So they sent us off in just such a gracious way, and that was really helpful. And so yeah, we landed here a year ago with this sort of 3-year trajectory ahead of us, where we could start full time right away, meeting people and doing dinners and doing outreach events and info nights and family movie nights and all sorts of things to connect with the community, but then also to connect with people that might want to be a part of the team, might want to help us get it going. So, and we kind of turned the corner like around like a couple months ago, where we said, okay, we've been here all these months, we've been planting the seed, we've been like sharing the vision. Now it's time to start looking towards Sunday morning services. What will that look like? And how do we get that off the ground, that piece of it? And so sharing the vision around that. So that took time, and then looking for locations and all that. And then saying, in order to do a Sunday morning service, we're going to need a launch team. We need a launch team to help us launch this. There's so much to do, and there's so many opportunities for people to get involved that we can't hold it all ourselves. That would not be the right thing, right? We got to open this up for people to get involved. And so we turned the corner and went into a season of launch team training. So we did our launch team trainings every week. It was our first weekly gathering. Before that, we were doing more sporadic things here and there. So that took a new commitment every week. And for our folks that we've been sharing the vision with, that took a new commitment too. And they had to say, okay, I'm either in on this weekly thing, I'm going to do this, try and be a part of this and lend a hand, or maybe I'm a little too busy, or it's not a fit. Or so that was good. It was a clarifying season. Take that turn into launch team training. And then now, a couple months now of doing these weekly team trainings, we've been talking again about the vision and what we're doing, why we're doing it, and then kind of fleshing out what are the teams needed to do Sunday morning well. And then who wants to help be a part of those teams, who wants to lead those teams, and then let's empower and mobilize those folks in those teams, equip them so that they feel excited, ready to own it and to go for it. And so that's where we're at right now as we look towards this preview service, September 11th. It'll be a chance for our teams to practice and like try things out. We're hoping to people that we invite to that service to be able to say, hey, thanks for being gracious as we practice some things, experimenting with some things. And then we'll have another month after that to shore up the gaps and, tighten up things for the grand opening, which will be October 16. Grand opening, and at which point we'll be in our every Sunday morning rhythm. So there's so much to think about once grand opening happens, because then 6 days later, Sundays again. So how do we mobilize these teams well so there's not burnout, so people are using their gifts and there's a rotation, a shared load of responsibility and participation, so that not everyone is like every Sunday having to do some kind of challenging job or whatever, but we want them to be able to enjoy church community and experience the church service as well. And so all sorts of dynamics to think about at that point, but we're trying to just kind of one at a time right now,